or two. Okay, so that is zooming in. What do I need? Where am I going? What do I want? All of that. Okay, so I got a very strange message from higher self, and it was on repeat, and it was zoom in, zoom out, zoom in, zoom out. Now, a lot of the first wave, well, all of the first wave woke up to any corruption before anybody else. We woke up to these things in waves. If we didn't, we would have tanked the frequency of the planet and sunk it into a black hole instead of allowing, inviting, and energetically working with the earth to go back to the place it came down from before we fell into 3D, if that makes sense. So we learn these things, we heal these things, we do these things in waves of people. So the first wave found out first about the corruption, the destruction, the lies, the propaganda, the illusion. Everything is the opposite. We live in an inverted reality. We live in a matrix, right? All this big, crap out there, right, is what we learned. So what happened? We dropped into self. What does self need? Okay, self doesn't need the matrix. Self doesn't need the illusion. Self doesn't need the inversion. We know we don't. So in order to preserve ourselves, we fell into self. We fell into self, and we fell into preservation. Okay, so we zoomed into self once we were out there. Okay, the message I so clearly got for all of us is zoom in, zoom out, zoom in, zoom out. So don't stay completely. I'm so good at this. Saying so internally, introspective, quiet, non-social, all of that. I've perfected it, trust me, okay? I've fallen into self to figure out all the things I needed to figure out for my body, mind, spirit healing, all the things that I needed to figure out. And I say I because this is what you and we and I are all doing. Fell into self, zoomed into self to realize what you needed to do to heal the body, mind, spirit connection, then heal this healing that goes back up the ancestral line. So then we start working on earth healing. So we've been doing the earth healing for a couple of years, okay? But because things out there can be bigger than us, more delusional than us, we fell in or zoomed in to self so that we weren't part of the illusion, part of the matrix, part of the game, part of the whatever. I think you get the picture, right? We're being asked now to zoom in, zoom out. How long, speaking of zoom in, zoom out, let me zoom out so I can see how long I've been here, on here. I hope you guys can still hear me. There was a lot of comments and now there are none. So if there's anybody still here, let me know that. So let me get to what I feel like is the more important part of this. Those who have zoomed out a long time ago and woken up and studied and fell into the rabbit hole. Okay. Thank you, James. It's appreciated. I never know when it's working if everyone falls dead silent because that's unusual. We have zoomed out, learned a bunch of things, fell back into self, or zoomed in. But now we are being asked, that is, if you want to listen to my guidance, of course, I never tell you that that you need to do what I'm suggesting. I'm just telling you what's coming through. And most of it I am discerning here live in real time in front of you. That's really odd. So zoom in, zoom out, okay? That's for everyone. some things I hate to come on here and say because I've said before and other people have said before 100 times. When I say be prepared for anything, I mean prepared for anything. When I say that, I'm not talking about a grid that's never going to come back up or a store that's going to be permanently empty. Okay? I'm talking about whatever you might need for yourself for a week, only to keep you out of the general public. Should the general public be hysterical, be rioting, be whatever. I don't know what's going on. Okay, so as above, so below. As within, so without. All these other things we've heard before are all very true. Zero news is getting to me, but I'm going to tell you something. We've heard the possibility of a blackout, and for me, I think I've been hearing that. I don't even know. I think it's been close to 10 years I've been hearing about a possible blackout. Just have what you need short term in the house, okay? And I don't mean, I don't know where you live. I was going to say I don't mean guns and ammunitions, but I suppose if you live in Australia, you may need that too. That's a pretty crazy place to live. But it's important, just because you can read everything and every person and everything around you does not mean, okay, again, with someone coming to you, oh, that's something like, someone's coming to you asking for help, asking for assistance. Oh, that's different. I never, ever, ever wear makeup to landscape. And today I wore mascara and it poured down rain for an hour and it was all on my eyes. So I tried to blot it off. And then the paper I was blotting it with, I had chunks of paper in my eye. Now my eye is itching. Anyway, a good reason not to ever wear makeup to landscape. And I normally don't. I don't know what I was thinking today. So a lot of interesting things are coming through. The biggest is, with your ability to read everything and everyone, maybe you need to remind yourself to observe and not absorb, or whatever helps you, because it's getting really intense. Now, I've told you I've been out of the news cycle for months. I had a very, very mentally challenging job the other day. I have a client with a big yard who's moving into an apartment building, and supposedly what she said to me was she wanted me to take her house plants and some of her plants over and help her repot things and work on the balcony, which is not what I ended up doing. And I wasn't dressed for landscaping, and I should have said something to her, but it was so hard for me to be directly sitting with her that I just decided to do what she was asking me to do, because she was very unclear and the humidity was 1,000,000%. And as I said, I wasn't dressed for it. It was so hard to communicate with her. It's fucking mind blowing. And finally, after 2.5 hours, I said to her, we seem to be having a really hard time communicating here. And she's like, oh, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, I'm not asking you to apologize. It could just as well be me, but we are on a different frequency. I've done this gardening, landscaping, flower potting, whatever, 20 hats in this industry for 30 years now. And to have someone sitting there inches away from you saying, no, don't do it that way. No, don't do it this way. Lift it from this way. I'm trying to lift something that weighs 100 pounds. I just want her to get the hell out of my way, because I'm afraid I'm going to run into her. She has several health problems, doesn't walk very well, falls a lot, and just wants to sit right there, right up against me just about, while I'm trying to do all this stuff. And it was just crazy intense. The energy was crazy intense. The energy gave this feeling of just being absolutely starving. And I had taken food, but I didn't really know I was going to be doing physical labor, so I didn't have enough food. So then I stopped at a gas station for a pack of crackers before I met her back at her house. And I'm not going to give you the whole 8.5 hours, but there were so many weird things. So at this new place, I had to get this giant elevator cart like they have at hotels to put all the potting soil on it and her outside pots. So this cart weighed about 200 pounds, okay? So that's close to 100 pounds more than I weigh. I'm trying to maneuver it. The ramp to go in the building is on a slant like this, and then it's got like a portion of the sidewalk that I guess is handicapped for the blind, right? Um, yeah, that's a really good idea. Charge them double. Yeah, I do have some people that work with me, but I don't have many people that are like that, and it was really, really frustrating. But anyway, here I am with a 200-pound cart, and there's electric doors there, but I couldn't get past it because there was an older gentleman sitting by the door that, in the very bottom of his heart, wanted to help me so much with the doors in the cart, and I don't think he was capable of doing either. And what he was doing was standing in my way, and the cart is on a slant and weighs twice as much as I do, and it's bouncing all over the place. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to end up taking this. I'm going to end up just like running into this man with the cart or the door, and he just insisted on helping. And it was just like the whole day was super weird. And then I ended up having to take some of the dirt home with me. And when I got out of there, when you are around somebody that's on a different frequency, it's not like you can't have a conversation unless there's the huge gap or giant ravine between you and that person. I've talked about this before many times, okay? When there's a gigantic gap in frequency, it's hard to communicate. However, when you throw a plasma storm in there or whatever else is going on, there is something going on in cosmology that has probably happened before. It's probably somewhere in the ancient records of antiquity that I don't know about or I don't have access to. I need to stop playing with that rock and stop using my hands like an Italian. There is something going on in cosmology that I don't think anyone knows is coming. And I don't think it's what the majority of us have thought it was. I mean, a lot of people are waiting on a solar flash that's already happened. But does it really happen to you? You could be married and one person could look at it like they're divorced and just, do whatever they want. The other person could think that they're happily married. So, are they still married? Well, technically they're still married until they experience the divorce. Now, maybe one person experienced the divorce, right? In their heart, body, mind connection somehow. Maybe the other person didn't. There's no different in any sector or any genre of your entire reality than that. So we have thousands and thousands of people waiting for a solar flash, which I've already experienced 5 times, and thousands of other people have experienced it. So the question is, has it happened or is it going to happen, right? That's the thing with everything. If time is a spiral, what if I experienced a solar flash and you experienced it the next day, or you experienced it 3 years ago? I don't know. So when I'm saying there's a huge cosmological, if I'm saying that correctly, event that's going to happen, let me be clear that I am not talking about the solar flash, or at least that did not appear to be what it was. I've had solar flash visions and experiences 5 or 6 times. Some of you know this, don't normally make videos on double dates. I don't normally work on double dates. I don't do readings on double dates unless it's someone that asked me that I'm really close to, that I've done many readings for, on portals. Now, a lot of you, I've heard a lot of chatter in the last couple of years, portals don't mean anything. It's just a made up bunch of shit. Well, your whole reality, your whole existence, your personal existence, your microcosmic world and the macrocosmic world is built on nothing but geometry. The alphabet corresponds with numbers that correspond with shapes, which correspond with geometry. Your entire illusion, delusion, matrix, and lack thereof is nothing but fractals of geometry. So to sit there and say that it doesn't mean anything, that today's a 6 day, 6 is all about peace and happiness and harmony in the home. Okay? There's more to it, but I'm summing it up. 6 means double that. Okay? You're talking body, mind, spirit connection of two people, but you're also talking about basically peace, harmony, cooperation in the home. Okay, there are other things. I'm just giving you a brief example. So 6 you have double that. Okay, I've been writing and making videos about these portals for 3 years. I don't do that anymore. I have never, ever felt an energetic portal that was that strong. So, on a good day, without a solar storm, without CMEs and plasma storms and off the chart Schumann resonance, you would still could have a possible speech and or both language barrier with people when there's a big frequency gap. So there's a big frequency gap between this person and I, which is astounding because, you know, she was an opera singer and she was a CCM teacher where I had my scholarship. We have so much in common. You think it'd be easy to talk. She would talk to me. When she would talk, she would start to, instead of talking to me, she would sing it. And then I would sing it back and she would look confused, like, why are you singing? It was the most fucking bizarre interaction that I've ever had on this planet. I'm telling you. Anytime there's a frequency gap, there might be a little bit of a struggle in understanding or a little extra explaining or whatever. Big frequency gap right now, it's a problem. Big frequency gap plus portal plus, I don't know. If anybody wants really fascinating space weather, go to Stephan, Steph, is it A-N? Burns, Burns. I've been subscribed to his channel for, I don't know, a year. I don't watch his videos. I only read the titles. But anyway, if you want a really cool person who's a geophysicist, also an astrologist, and God knows how many other knowledge bases and degrees he has, but those two things for sure. So he'll give you all the facts. He'll give you his intuition. He'll give you all of that other stuff as well. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, and if you're interested in it being accurate, okay, he will take even, you know, blips on the chart or whatever and tell you. He won't tell you the USGS says it's this. He'll say, what I learned becoming a geophysicist was this. This is how this looks. This is how this feels. This does or does not make sense. Here's what I intuitively feel like it is. So it's a perfect mix of science and intuition. Stephan Burns, if you're interested in actual space weather news. Oh, hello, Dari. Yes, we're alive and we can do what we can do. Well, that's for sure. So big gap. It was absolutely the most exhausting day I've ever had in my entire life. Just being talked to like that all day long. You're putting too much dirt in the pot. You're doing. And I said, believe it or not, I've done this before. We did this for 30 years. And it'd be different if she was watching me saying, you're putting too much dirt in the pot. And while she was sitting there, I put the plants in and then I had to take some dirt out because I put too much dirt in the pot. But I had to actually put more dirt in the pot. But she didn't care. It was just, she wanted to just sit there and pick everything apart that I was doing for the entire day. And I kept thinking, you know what? I should have gone home. You know, and I don't think that she was consciously aware that she was doing it. I don't think she was doing it on purpose. The energy affects people in different ways, right? Energy comes in, it wants to go out. It really wants to go out in a physical way, like running or swimming, or making love, or jumping rope, okay? It wants to come out verbally. It wants to come out all these different ways. And if you're not doing things physically to let it out, and you're not doing things verbally to let it out, you're going to get fiery and you're going to lash out at people. Now, maybe people are lashing out at you. That's why I'm making you aware of that. All of this to say, before I'm on here for 3 hours again, one, I don't even like to say this because I've said it before, and thousands of other people have said it before too. There is some serious manifestation, magician, pulling it out of a hat or out of an underground base or something. Okay, my head has been swirling for days. Okay, and that's the way it is. Okay, so we are growing, we are changing, we are manifesting something that we are unaware of. Now, I'm not saying you're unaware of your family, your friends, the tomatoes growing in your backyard, the horse that you pet every day. I'm not saying you are unaware of that. I'm saying what is happening that is about to flip the switch. Woo! Something is about to flip the switch, okay? Reset. Now, as I said before, as within, so without, as above, so below, all of those other things that, you want to say, it's an inverted reality and everything is a mirror, okay? If someone's getting fiery with you, it's because they're fiery internally and they're not expressing it emotionally, verbally, sexually, physically, whatever it is. Don't take whatever's coming out of people's mouths too personal at the moment. And even though I don't want to say it because I know it's been said so many times before, there is something, this is a twofold something. That's why I said, my head is just spinning. I closed my eyes when I was outside today, and the whole bottom of the sun, I want to say it looked like it was on fire, but duh, it's a big ball of fire. But when I close my eyes to remote view it, the sun actually looks dark. Okay, so let's say this is the sun right here. It's my unicorn. Here, let me shake them up for you. Let's say this is the sun. Right below the sun, like the unicorn stand, the whole thing was lit up. The whole bottom of the sun, I think, is about to go. Now, again, when I say cosmologically that something is about to happen, I'm pretty sure I'm not referring to the solar event. Two last things. Let me wrap it up because I'm just... normally, whatever the frequency is, like I've got the fan on right now and the lights on, and I could touch the cord on that light in the dark and tell you whether that light's on, whether that fan's on, whatever, because that's how I am. But even with the fan, even with music, even over traffic, I could hear the frequency that has now been hitting the planets. I've been hearing it, I want to say 3 or 4 days. I really am not taking a day off work unless it pours down rain, and then I spend the entire day consulting and making phone calls and buying things. So I'm being a dumbass, and I'm working way too much right now. So my days run together. But it's been going on for 3 or 4 days, okay? On a cosmological, energetic level, it's about to blow, literally, okay? Now, in physical reality, on the world stage, it's about to blow. The lady that I was just describing to you, that was really picking apart everything I did, started talking to me about politics. And most people don't talk to me about politics or any kind of crazy stuff at work. And if they do, I say something as polite as possible and I ditch out of that conversation. This lady was not letting it go. I couldn't say anything. I couldn't discharge the situation. She was going off about Trump and how Trump was going to send Elon back to Africa where he came from and all this other crap. Um, and I said, I tried to say that, you can't really pay attention to what's going on TV too much. And she said, since they moved 3 or 4 weeks ago, they haven't had the TV hooked up yet, and she'd never felt so stress-free in her life. But she was going on about Elon and Trump. As above, so below. As within, so without. Okay? I don't know anything about this. Whatever is going on between Trump and Eli, remember, told you I had a vision, a psychic vision in 2021, and if Ron's still here, he can attest to this, that Trump and Elon Musk were in a meeting in a place that couldn't be penetrated by bullets, by listening devices, by anything. Okay, this has been planned. This has been planned for over 4 years. What is happening right now? Whatever Elon and Trump are saying to get to each other, whatever the fight is, people want to see them fight because the news has everybody riled up about everything, as we already know. The whole point of this, just in case you're not aware of it, again, if they're talking about it now, it's already happened. I hope that helps you sleep at night. So, Trump and Elon, or anything else that's going on, if they are having a fight and whatever is going on with whatever, it's intentional, and they're doing it so they can say this, and then I'll say this, and they'll say this, and next thing you know it, the Democrats or the opposition or the military or whoever's got whatever going on it's going to pull the plug on something, okay? You got to stop, and maybe it'll help you, because I know most of you are not doing this. But you need to have some good sleep at night. That's the first thing. So you should just know the fight between Elon and Trump, or any kind of other news that is in your face. And I know most of you are aware of this, but it's going to be coming in through friends and relatives and coworkers as well. It's all a fucking show, and it's all on time delay. Okay. 2 last things before I leave here. 1, there is some sort of play-by-play, and it's been going on for a really long time. There is something right now that is so big, I can't feel around the scope of what it is in the physical, okay? This is a plan that is decades in the making. Whatever is about to happen, and I'm not talking about Trump and Elon, that's a sidebar. Whatever you do with your emergency supplies, have your popcorn or your vegan treats or your jerky treats or whatever it is you need, okay? Because it's about to go down, and it's about to go down all the way around, okay? Both sides of the mirror, both sides of the equation, both sides of the mirror, both sides of the illusion, both ends of the stick into the battery, both ends of the equation are going to go very simultaneously. Whatever the military industrial complex is covertly working on, that they've been working on for a really long time, it is so big that I don't know the words to say this. It's not like I've come to you before and said things. I've seen military things. This is big, okay? This is so big, it'd be like saying, oh, my neighbor has a 65-inch screen TV, so I can watch TV, through her apartment window, but then my window's only this big. The scope of what is about to happen, okay, is decades in the planning, and I don't know exactly what it is or how it's coming from. And I'm talking in a physical, okay, you do remember, because that's only twice that I had that. The first time was when Trump got picked up, and the second time Trump and Elon were both picked up and put in that same room. So anyway, something so big that I can't even wrap my brain around it. I'll let you know later if I do, of course. militarily, okay? Also, Star Trek future is so much closer than people know. You know what? I hated Star Trek, James. Hated it. It drove me insane. My dad and my sister absolutely loved it, and I couldn't stand it because it had no humor in it, and it just killed me. And I always used to make fun of my dad and sister, and at the end of every episode, and say, "You know what, Scotty? We could have just pushed this button the entire time." So yeah, I guess would have had an education had I watched Star Trek, but I didn't. No, I mean I've seen a few minutes of it here and there. Militarily, something is about to fucking blow. Okay. Cosmologically, something is about to blow. Set your mind to where you want your attention to go. Whether you want your attention to be on the military or on cosmology, you can certainly have your finger on both, but don't watch the military game if you're not aware that one, everything is nothing but a giant Saturday Night Live skit to expose. Two, it's not in real time. And three, they're not going to tell you they're doing it, planning it, anything until it's done. I'm telling you that, so, hopefully that is helpful. It's really weird. I don't know why I'm explaining things that I know that my regular listeners already know. And I don't know how many people are here. I don't know who is listening, but I guess there's somebody here that needed to know that. Okay, on the cosmological side of things. How to make this as short as possible. I've been here an hour. I knew I was gonna, I can't. Oh. Okay, on the cosmology side of things. When you dream, I studied dreams for decades. When you dream, there are two kinds of dreams. Most people's dreams are symbolism coming from the subconscious or other people's subconscious who are thinking or dreaming about you. Right? So symbolistic dreams. The other kind of dream is a precognitive or psychic dream. How you know the difference is in a dream that is trying to show you, teach you symbolically what you need to know is that things are not realistic, right? So I could say, oh, this is me. I'm getting the dream job. I'm getting ready for work. I'm going to start my day at the dream job, right? And I go in the mirror to get ready for work, and I look in the mirror. Let's say I look in the mirror and I have bright red hair and blue eyes, or I don't recognize myself, or I wake up and I'm not in my apartment. Symbol, 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 symbol. Okay, precognitive psychic dream. I wake up in the morning, I look in the mirror, I say, oh, I'm going to start the dream job. I can't believe it. This is amazing. I look in the mirror. I am in my own house. All right. It's my closet. It's my house. It's my car. It looks like me in the mirror. That's when you know you're having a psychic dream. Okay. This is how I know this is a psychic dream and not a symbolic dream. Okay. So you got to start somewhere. I don't set an alarm clock ever. I don't schedule myself to work before I would have the natural proclivity to get up and start my day. I don't do it. If there's something really weird, maybe a meteor shower, I might set the alarm clock. It's like maybe once a year, I actually set an alarm clock. Okay. So in the dream, I wake up, I roll over, I look at the alarm clock, and I'm just telling you this because so you get like the alarm clock is like this big, right? So I can see it from all the way across the room. And at night, it has a light blue face so that if you turn over in the middle of the night and think to yourself, like I do, is it time to get up? I feel like I've had enough sleep. You can roll over and look at the clock and see what time it is without having to get close to it or push a little button to light up the screen. So it's really cool. So in the dream, I rolled over to look at the clock and the clock said 1:45, and I was like, 1:45? There's no way it's 1:45. I've been asleep for hours. So I thought maybe the batteries are done. The clock stopped. Okay? Now, when you have a precognitive or psychic foreshadowing dream, doesn't mean that there is not also symbolism in this dream as well. Okay? You can definitely have both, but you do want to know whether it's one or the other, right? Because you might have a dream, you might say, oh, I had a dream that I was in a car wreck and now I'm afraid to get in the car and drive, right? But it wasn't really you in the car, it didn't look like your car, it didn't look like your house. Then that is not talking about your car, it's talking about your vehicle, which is this thing right here, your meat suit. Know the difference between precognitive psychic dream and a symbolistic dream. And I'm just saying, this is where the cosmology is coming from. I wake up, I see the blue face on the clock lit up, it's like 1:45, and I get up and I go, 1:45? It's still dark outside. Did I oversleep? I was supposed to, be at work at 10:30. Oh, am I really late to work? So, and then thinking, oh, well, maybe the clock's not working. Maybe the battery died. So I got up and I came into the kitchen. I don't have clocks in my house. The bedroom is that's the only clock is in the bedroom. That's from keeping me from going to get my phone in the middle of the night to see what time it is when I wake up or have a crazy dream or something. So anyway, I come out here and I start walking around. The coffee pot has a clock. It came with a clock on it. I did not set it, so it is not correct. I looked at the stove, which is correct, and the stove said it was 1:45. So then I was confused whether it was 1:45 in the morning or 1:45 in the afternoon. It was 1:45 on two clocks, right? So we know it's 1:45. The question was it 1:45 a.m. or 1:45 p.m.? The only reason why I thought it was 1:45 1:45 in the morning or in the middle of the night was because I had already been asleep for so long and I felt so well rested. I'm like, I felt like I'd been asleep for 9 or 10 hours. So I wake up, it's around 1:45 in the morning, and I come out here, and yes, it's 1:45 in the morning, but then I look outside at the street, and there were no cars on the street. All the people that go to work every day were already gone. So then that was really confusing too, because I'm like, well, if it was 1:45 in the morning, most everybody on this street works first or second shift, so the cars would be here. I know it seems stupid and it seems like nothing. It's so bizarre. So I get up. I know it's 1:45 in the bedroom clock. I come in the kitchen. It's 1:45 in the kitchen. I look out the window, and all the cars are gone. So I think, if all the cars are gone, it must be 1:45 in the afternoon. So then I got on my phone to figure out. Now, it's pitch dark, okay? It felt like 1:45 in the afternoon, but it was dark outside, which is why I thought it was the middle of the night. We've all done that. You wake up in the middle of the night and you think, oh my God, what time is it? How long have I been asleep? Or whatever. So anyway, all my clocks are telling me it's 1:45, and all the cars are gone off the street, so I know it's not the middle of the night. And then I'm like, oh my God, it's 1:45 in the afternoon. So I messed around, did some stuff, had some coffee, and then I keep in mind, and I know this seems just ridiculous, but keep in mind this whole time whether I'm trying to discern, have I been asleep for 12 hours? Have I been asleep for 3 hours? Is it AM or is it PM? Then I realize that because the cars are gone and because I look at my phone and the clock or whatever, And then I got on the computer and to actually look to see if it was AM or PM. Again, I did all this because it's pitch black. Okay. Then, as I thought initially upon waking that it was 1:45 in the afternoon and pitch black outside, I thought, well, what should I do? What would you do at 2 in the afternoon if there was no sun, right? This is not Alaska. So it was really, really weird. And so I had just woken up. So I'd be waking up at 1:45 in the afternoon. I'm an early riser. But anyway, I had some coffee, putzed around to make sure because I just couldn't believe that it was pitch black outside, but it was almost 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And then I walked outside and I started talking to a couple of the neighbors, and the neighbors are like, why is it pitch black at 2 in the afternoon? Because when I went outside, it was around 2 or 2:15. And so we were talking about it, and the people that I was talking to were very friendly and very nice, but they're not people that have any kind of grasp or understanding energetically or physically what's going on the planet. We're out there start talking around after 2 o'clock, 2:30, and there's a little bit of a group starts to assimilate, a group of neighbors start to assimilate, and we start talking. And right around 2:45, so about 2 hours later, sometime between 2:45 and 3 o'clock, all of a sudden the planetary lights went back on. Okay, so I don't know. I mean, I'm not thinking that a solar flash is only going to last. It's going to be dark. I don't know what it was, but here's what I'm telling you. I woke up at 1:45. I went outside at 2:30, and right around 3 o'clock, as me and a small group of neighbors were talking about why in the hell would it possibly be pitch black at 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Just then, the lights came back on, and when I meant to try to find something, but I didn't have anything in the house that was that color. When the lights on planet Earth came back on, the sky was like something I've only seen once or twice. Maybe I have something in this drawer, if I can open this drawer without knocking it on the floor. The sky was close to this color. It was, the sky was dense. I don't know any other way to say that. The sky was dense. It was really thick. And it was that color that I just showed you with a hint of purple. So however long it was out, I mean, whatever, it's dark when I sleep here. Maybe not if you live in Alaska, maybe it's not dark. But it was dark here, and the planetary lights came on at 3 o'clock. Again, this could also not just be, a foreshadowing or precognitive dream. I feel like there's some symbolism in there as well. There was a period of darkness, and I don't mean, grieving or energetic. I mean total physical, absolute black, and there were no lights on either. Okay, there were no street lights, no lights outside. But anyway, when the lights came back on, so to speak, the sky was really energetically dense. That's the only way I could describe the way it felt. And it was actually indigo, which is mostly blue with a little bit of red in it. So this is like a really, really intense pink that I'm wearing. And so this is indigo. It's really real. It's like royal blue with just a slight purple. So I thought that was really interesting that it was supposed to be broad daylight. It was afternoon, but the lights were not on planet Earth. And when they came back up, the sky looked like it did before pollution, cars, warfare, anything started. I've never, ever, ever seen anything like it. Militarily, there is something so big that's about to happen. I cannot even wrap my psychic ability around that thing. I haven't really had the time to either. I might actually try to look at that now. Um, um, right now, I'm trying to pound in as much money as I possibly can for a good reason. So I can leave the country. Just kidding. Militarily, there's something that mind-blowing that's about to go down. And also, at the same time, simultaneously, you can say one day before the other. I don't know exact same. When I say simultaneously, I don't mean the very same, in the same millisecond or whatever. But energetically and physically, we are in for a shocking surprise. Let me put it that way. Militarily, this is going to be the hugest military thing we have ever seen, okay? And it's for the good, but keep in mind the people that don't know any better, that don't have any money, or that are maybe mad that the bank is closed for 2 days. This energy that's moving us, it's moving the tectonic plates, it's moving volcanic energy. Things are starting to explode all over the planet, would be my guess. And this energy, people are doing that same thing. And get your stuff, because if there are riots, you don't want to go out and be in it, okay? And again, not fear. What I'm saying, this military action is 100% positive. The little sidebars or side effects things that happen, people rioting, issues with things, whatever you could expect, okay, if things were shut down for a day or two, okay? So this military thing is 1,000,000% positive, okay? But there are going to be side effects from that are not positive. Have your stuff ready, is all I'm saying, okay? Cosmologically, it's super, super, super amazingly, brilliantly, fantastically awesome what is about to happen. But also have your stuff together. If we have a big power surge in the grid, just make sure you have stuff. Make sure you have a lighter. Make sure you have candles. Make sure you have food that doesn't need refrigeration. I'm not talking, you guys know me. I've been talking about this for the last 3 years. Militarily and cosmologically, a lot of the planet is in for a big shock. You are not in for a big shock, but I don't expect that you're going to want to go out and face the crowds or face the riots or face whatever's going on temporarily. So get your stuff together, because they're working on something, and they've been working on something. And again, you've got Trump and Elon going at each other. I'm going to do this. You did this. You did this. You're going to be deported to Africa. Okay? That is not what I'm talking about. All of this stupid little shit, that's my sweater sort of fighting when there is the biggest military action we've ever seen in planetary history is about to go down, and they're arguing over electric cars or deporting people or taxes, whatever they're arguing about. I have no fucking clue. That's what I'm just saying. Okay? So don't give too much energy to that, if you will. Make sure that you have what you need for you and for yours. Okay? And until next time, thank you for being here for the news that didn't make the news.